So let's find our comfortable seat, getting a blanket or pillow underneath your hips to support them, helping the pelvis tilt forward. Hope we lost Christy for a second. All right. So finding our comfortable seat, we'll begin with rubbing the palms of our hands together, bringing focus and energy into the palms. And then take the fingertips and gently brush them across the forehead, temples, and cheeks, brushing away any worries or expectations. Bring the fingertips to the eyes, palms to the cheeks, turning your attention inward. And take a couple of deep cleansing breaths. When you're ready, gently float your hands down. Extend your spine up tall, shoulders back and down. Lift the heart with each inhaling breath. Sitting bones sinking toward the earth with each exhale. We'll tune in with 3 ohms. Feel free to join in or just absorb the vibration. Take another deep breath in. Oh. 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 Take a moment to absorb the vibrations of the mantra as it connects us all as one. Allow yourself to settle here this Saturday morning. And set an intention for your practice, something you'd like to nurture or cultivate within yourself. Bringing your awareness to the breath. Allow each inhale to bring you here, to this room, to this moment. Allow each exhale to release anything not needed for your practice today. With your next inhaling breath, allow the belly to soften and expand. And as you exhale, draw the belly toward the back. Follow your body's rhythm, expanding on the inhale, contracting on the exhale. With your next inhaling breath, expand the belly and open the ribs, reaching them out to the sides. As you exhale, contract the belly and relax the ribs. With your next inhale, expand the belly, open the ribs, and lift the chest, creating space for your heart. And as you exhale, contract, relax, and lower. Continue this full deep breath, expanding your lungs in all directions with each inhale. Completely releasing the breath with each exhale. Take one more full, complete breath. Let's move into Kapalabhati, or breath of fire, where we inhale kind of passively through the nose and exhale, drawing the belly muscles firmly back toward the back to force the air out, all in and out through our nose. So take a full breath in and out. Then we'll inhale and out. And return to your natural breath. Taking a moment to notice any changes in your mind or body. Remembering that our breath is always with us to help find those moments of peace and calm. Bringing your awareness to your right hand, allow the tips of the thumb and pointer finger to come together and bring those fingertips to your heart center. Turning your attention deeper inward toward your heart, looking within for your inner light and your inner joy. As you find that connection with the light within you, allow its warm glow to flow on the breath throughout your entire body. As you find that connection with your inner joy, allow it to radiate up onto your face in a smile. And breathe it out into the space around you. As we continue our practice, allow your light and joy to flow through each breath and movement, honoring all that you are in each moment. When you're ready, you can float the hand down, gently open your eyes. If you'd like to switch your legs or change positions, please go ahead and do that. With your next inhaling breath, let's scrunch our shoulders up by our ears. And exhale, press the shoulders back and down. Inhale, lift and squeeze. Exhale, back and down. Once more, lift and squeeze. and back and down. We'll bring the hands in front of the chest, palms facing down, tucking those shoulder blades, gently strengthening the muscles around the shoulder blades. And let's press the elbows back toward each other. Lift the heart, gently squeezing the center of the shoulder blades toward each other, wringing out any tension. And opening the arms wide, turning the palms up. Lift the heart a little more if that feels okay, drawing the lower corners of the shoulder blades toward each other. If it feels okay, you can flex the wrists, pressing through the palms. And then we'll bring the arms in front, crossing the right over the left, bending at the elbows, hands back to back, left hand around the right wrist or hands at the shoulders. Elbows up to shoulder height, dropping the shoulders away from the ears. Gently squeeze the arms together, pushing the elbows away as you breathe into the upper back. And as it feels okay, you can begin to lower and lift the elbows. Sending that stretch around the shoulders. With your next inhaling breath, if it feels okay, lift the elbows up a little higher, gently arching. And as you exhale, round, dropping the chin, allowing the weight of the arms to open the upper back. And with your next inhale, come up tall. So release the left hand, extending the right arm across in front of us and bringing that left hand to the upper arm. Fingers spread wide, heart is lifted. Turning your chin over your right shoulder if that feels okay. And then coming back to center, we'll bring the hand to the elbow and we'll bring that right arm up over the head, dropping your hand to the back. And gently pull the right arm behind the head or toward the head. Hold and breathe. And then we'll release the arms, opening wide, pressing through the palms. And then bringing the arms in front, cross the left over the right. Bending at the elbows, hands back to back, or right hand around the left wrist, or hands at the shoulders. Elbows up to shoulder height, dropping the shoulders away from your ears. Gently breathing into the upper back as you squeeze the arms together, pushing the elbows gently away from you. And if it feels okay, you can begin lowering and lifting the elbows. Extending that stretch around the shoulders. And with your next inhaling breath, if it feels okay, lift the elbows up, gently arching. And as you exhale, round, dropping the chin, letting the weight of the arms open the back. Then inhaling back to center. We'll release the right hand, bringing it to the upper left arm. Extend the left arm across in front of the body, spreading the fingers wide. Gently pulling that arm and turning your chin over your left shoulder if that feels okay. Bringing the head back to the center, we'll slide the hand to the elbow, bringing that left arm up over the head, drop the hand to the back and gently pull the elbow toward the head or behind the head if that feels okay. And then we'll release the hands. Make some circles with the wrists. And reverse those circles. We'll bring the hands to the heart, interlacing the fingers. Press the palms out in front. Roll the shoulders forward, round the spine, drop the chin. Inhale, lifting the arms up over the head, gently arching. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. This time, as you exhale, drop the chin toward the chest, softening the elbows, rolling the shoulder blades back toward each other, squeezing the upper corners of the shoulder blades, wringing out any tension. Release the neck, the chin toward the chest a little bit more and soften the jaw. If it feels okay, you could press the palms up toward the sky, just listening to your shoulders and elbows. With your next inhale, lift up tall. As you exhale, let's turn toward the right, floating the hands down, left hand to the knee, right hand behind the hip. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, gently twist. Chin comes toward the right shoulder, just as far as feels okay for your neck. Lifting the heart with each inhale, twisting through each exhale. If it feels okay for your neck, you can then turn your chin over your left shoulder. And inhaling back to the right. With your next inhale, we'll sweep the right arm up by the ear. And as you exhale, reach across the body. Lifting the heart, right hip drops toward the mat, reaching through the fingertips. Now let's gently pull that right elbow back toward the ribs and then reach the arm out again. Pull it back down toward the ribs and reach it out again. One more time, drawing it down and reaching. And with your next inhale, lift up tall and exhale back to the center. Take a breath in and out. And we'll interlace the fingers, inhaling the arms up over the head. Exhale, twisting toward the left and floating the hands down, right hand to the knee, left hand behind the hip. Inhale, lifting the heart. Exhale, gently twisting and bringing the chin toward the left shoulder, just as far as feels okay. Hold and breathe, lifting and twisting, finding that edge between flexibility and inflexibility. If it feels okay, you could turn your chin over your right shoulder. And then back to the left. With your next inhale, sweep the left arm up by the ear. And as you exhale, reach across the body. Dropping the left hip, lifting the heart, reaching through the fingertips. Staying here, we'll bring that left elbow down toward the ribs and then reach the arm out again. Inhale, bringing that elbow down, and reaching. Once more, bringing the elbow down and reaching. And with your next inhale, lift up tall. And as you exhale, come back to the center. Let's come to a seated position, extending those legs out toward the end of the mat, flexing the feet. Toes point toward the ceiling, knees pointing up toward the ceiling, having those knees bent just a little bit if that feels better for you. Lengthening the spine, shoulders back and down. We'll engage the kneecaps, drawing the engage the quadriceps, drawing the kneecaps up, flexing our feet and pressing the heels away from us. Hands can be on the thighs or floor. Engaging those quadriceps a little more if it feels okay, lifting the heels off the floor. Strengthening the front of the legs as we release the back. And with your next exhale, soften the legs. We'll inhale, sweeping the arms up. And as you exhale, just very gently folding forward, tilting that pelvis, pressing back through the hips. Hands can rest on the legs, floor, or feet. Lengthening the spine with your inhale. Softening through the low back and the back of the legs with the exhale. Hold and breathe. Just starting to warm up those muscles, not pulling or pushing yourself too hard. Using the breath to help release. With your next inhale, lift up tall. Bring the hands behind the hips, fingertips facing the hips. We can work with inclined plane or reverse table. So inclined plane with the feet together, lifting the hips here, or reverse table, feet hip width apart, lifting here, finding what works right well for your body today. Softening those elbows, engaging those triceps in the upper back of the arms with your next inhaling breath. Let's press the hips up high. Head extends out from the spine. Exhale, gently lower and hover if that feels okay. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower and hover. Inhale, lift. Hold and breathe if that feels okay, or continue coming up and down. Hips pressing high. Elbows stay slightly bent. Head is away, extended out from the spine, or pull the chin toward the chest, just not dropped back on the shoulders. And with your next exhale, let's lower down, shake out those wrists. Coming to the center of the mat, we'll round the spine and gently roll back. Extending the legs out, taking a moment to scan up your body, noticing any parts that feel tired, achy, or sore. Honoring yourself and your body by listening to its messages. Pushing yourself to your edge, but not beyond it. And remembering that each time you do yoga, your body is a little bit different. Let's bend the right leg, floating the hands to the knee as you draw it in toward the chest. Lengthen through the neck. Soften around the right hip. Keeping the left hand on the knee, allow the right arm to fall out to the side, palm facing down or bending at the elbow. And as you exhale, gently twist over the left side of the body. Vision toward the right arm. Right hip comes off of the mat, so it comes across toward the floor. Release the muscles around the hip, easing the spine into the twist. Excuse me. With your next inhaling breath, come back to the center. Extend the leg up toward the sky. Take hold behind the hamstrings, calf, or ankle. As you exhale, toes reach toward the ceiling. Inhale, flexing, pressing through the heel. Follow your breath, releasing the front and the back of the leg. Then begin to make slow, gentle circles with your ankle, stretching your foot as far as it can go in each direction, and reverse the circle. Reaching through the heel, belly muscles draw down toward the back. With your next exhaling breath, lift the head and chest toward the leg. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Hold and breathe if that feels okay, or continue coming up and down. Reaching through the heel, belly muscles are strong, neck is nice and long. If it feels okay, you could flex the left foot and lift it an inch or two off the floor. And if it feels okay, you could release the hands. Keeping the neck nice and long, belly muscles doing the work. And lowering the left leg. With your next inhale, lower the head and chest. And as you exhale, slowly lower the right leg. Once you reach the floor, take a deep breath in and out. We'll bend the left leg, floating the hands to the knee as you draw it in toward the chest. Shoulders tuck under, neck is nice and long. Soften around the hip. Keeping the right hand on the knee, allow the left arm to fall out to the side, palm facing down or bending at the elbow. As you exhale, gently twist over the right side of the body. Left hip comes off of the mat, foot comes across toward the floor. Vision toward the left arm as much as feels okay for your neck. Release the muscles around the hip, easing the spine into the twist. With your next inhaling breath, come back to the center, extending the leg up toward the sky, taking hold behind the hamstrings, calf, or ankle. As you exhale, toes reach toward the ceiling. Inhale, flexing, pressing toward the sky. Follow the breath, releasing the front and the back of the leg. Then begin to make slow, gentle circles with your ankle, stretching your foot as far as it can go in each direction. And reversing the circles. Pressing through the heel, belly muscles draw down toward the back. With your next exhaling breath, lift the head and chest toward the leg. Inhale, lower the head and chest. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Hold and breathe if that feels okay, or continue coming up and down. If you'd like a little more challenge, you can flex the right foot, lifting it off the floor gently. And you can also release the arms. Nice long neck, reaching through both heels, belly muscles are strong. And lowering the right leg. With your next inhale, lower the head and chest. And as you exhale, slowly lower the left leg. Excuse me. Let's bend the knees, placing the feet on the floor. And let's go ahead and we'll do some variations with bridge. Let's make sure you have room for your arms to go in a big arc around you. So if you need to move anything or shift, you can do that. And we'll start with the hands alongside the body, palms facing down. Feet about hip width apart. Spreading the toes wide as you lift them up and lowering them back down, creating a nice space for your bridge. Knees parallel with the hips. Pressing the shoulders back and down and rolling the shoulders under. With your next inhaling breath, let's scoop the pelvis and roll the spine up. One vertebrae at a time, pressing the hips up high. Exhale, gently lowering the spine. This time as you inhale, let's lift the right arm and let it drop over the head as our hips come up high. And exhale, lowering the arm and the hips at the same time. Inhale, scooping the hips and lifting the left arm up, placing it on the floor above you. Exhale, rolling down. Inhale, right arm up as we're scooping and lifting. Exhale, down. Inhale, left arm. Exhale, down. So keeping our hands palms facing the floor. Imagine that our arms are the face of a clock. So right now our arms are facing at 6 o'clock. We'll inhale, scoop and lift. Pressing the palms up, or the hips up high, sorry. And exhale, rolling down. Let's move the arms, palms stay facing down to about 4 and 8. With your next inhale, scoop and lift. Kind of noticing what's different in the neck and shoulders as we lift, and as you exhale, rolling down. One more time here, scoop and lift. And exhale, rolling down. Now let's bring the arms out at 9 and 3. This time we'll turn our palms up. With your next inhale, scoop the pelvis, rolling the spine up. Exhale, rolling down. Inhale, scoop and lift. Exhale, lower. We'll move our arms up to 10 and 2. And with your next inhale, scoop and lift. Exhale, lower. Once more, scoop and lift. Exhale, lower. And then we'll bring both arms to 12 o'clock. Inhale, scoop and lift. Exhale, lower. Once more, scoop and lift. And exhale, lower. And we'll float our arms back down alongside the body. Take a breath in. As you exhale, tuck the pelvis, pressing the low back into the mat. Inhale, release. Exhale, tuck. Inhale, release. And exhale, tuck. Once more, release. And let the breath go. Let's extend our legs out in front of us. And we'll rock the hands underneath the hips. Palms facing down, elbows out to the side gently. And we'll work with fish pose, opening the upper back a little bit more this time. So we'll press into the elbows, lifting the torso up. So we're kind of half sitting up. And then we're going to drop the head back toward the mat. So the crown of the head is resting on the mat if that feels accessible for you. You can also place a block there to let the head rest back on mat if that feels more accessible. Breathing into the heart, softening the legs. Letting the chest and the upper back open. Breathing into the throat. And with your next inhaling breath, let's lift the head and exhale, lower onto the back. Bend the knees once more, rocking the hands out from underneath the hips. And then let's bring the knees over the torso into Apanasana, gently hugging the knees in toward the chest. You can rock a little side to side if that feels good as well. Now let's slip the hands behind the knees, and we'll do a little rocking and rolling with the spine. So we want to make sure that we keep the spine nice and rounded, particularly as we're rolling back to help that feel good instead of feel more bumpy. So we'll kick the feet over the head and gently rock up and then back. Using those belly muscles, using your legs to help, rounding the spine as we roll back. And then on your next roll, we'll come up to seated position. And then let's come forward onto our hands and knees. Excuse me. Hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Softening the inner elbows so they're facing each other. Tucking the shoulders back and down, head extends out from the spine. Belly muscles draw up, finding that strong table pose. With your next inhaling breath, lift the tailbone, drop the spine, lift the chin. Exhale, tuck the tailbone around the spine, drop the chin. Inhale, lifting, spine follows. Exhale, rounding. Follow your breath. And with your next inhale, come back to center. Let's bring the knees together so they're gently touching. Spreading those fingers nice and wide, we'll press into the pointer finger and the thumb. Help kind of lift the palm of the hand and take a little weight off of the wrist. And then gently drop that right hip to the side. Back to center. And dropping the hip to the left. Back to center. Follow your breath. Releasing those outer hip muscles. Once more on each side. And back to the center. Come on to our forearms. Elbows stacked underneath the shoulders, interlacing the fingers. We'll tuck the toes under, press the hips up and back in a modified downward dog, letting the forehead rest on the mat if that feels okay. Pressing into the elbows, soften the knees, lift the hips high. And if it feels okay, you can walk one heel out and then the other. My feet are a little slippery today. And then pressing through both heels, lifting the hips high. Gently lift the head. And we'll shift into plank. So you might need to just scoot your feet back a little. We'll be in the modified plank. Shoulders stacked over the elbows. Heels pressing back, engaging the quadriceps in the thighs. You could also place the knees down here to make that more accessible. And with your next exhale, let's lower all the way down. Keeping those elbows underneath the shoulders, we'll release the hands and extend them out in front of us, coming into Sphinx pose. Spreading the fingers nice and wide. Tuck the shoulder blades down the back. Zipping the legs together. We'll press into the, actually first let's just soften all the muscles, kind of let them hang on the bones. See how that feels. And then we'll press into the top of the feet, engaging the muscles through the legs. Notice how the quadriceps begin to engage. Then press the pelvic bone down into the mat using the glutes and the buttocks to help engage. And then pressing into the elbows, we'll begin to lift from the base of the spine all the way up to the crown of the head. Fingertips push into the mat, reaching back through the toes, reaching out through the crown of the head. Shoulder blades are drawn down the back. Remember to keep breathing nice and slow. One more breath. And with your exhale, soften. Let's bring our hands back underneath the shoulders and come back to tabletop. And just kind of do some gentle rounding and arching of the spine. And then when you're ready, you can lower into child's pose, dropping those hips back to the heels. You can also, if you'd like, place a blanket behind the knees to add a little support if that bothers your knees to come all the way back. Or as always, you can also move into reclined puppy as another option. From whatever option you choose, resting your forehead on the mat or a block. Breathing into the spine. Gently releasing the weight of the body to the earth. And we'll bring the hands underneath the shoulders, roll the spine up one vertebrae at a time. Shoulders come up, back and down. And we'll tuck the toes under and press the hips up toward the sky, coming into Uttanasana. Let's start with our feet together. And then bring the toes to 10 and 2. And bring the heels in line with the toes, finding our hip width apart again. Knees are nice and soft, letting the ribs come down toward the thighs. You can have a block underneath the hands if that feels more accessible as well. So we're going to release the back of the neck, really just letting the head fall. You can do a little nodding yes and shaking the head no, releasing those neck muscles. And then we're going to interlace the fingers and gently hook them on the back of the head. So a little bit of a gentle wrap around the neck, but really kind of resting against that occipital lobe. Not pulling, just letting the weight of the hands lengthen the neck slightly. One more breath. And with your exhale, we'll slide the hands over the head back to the mat or blocks. Lift the hips a little higher, lengthening through the back of the legs if that feels okay. And with your next inhaling breath, we'll sweep out and up, palms together over the head. Exhale, hands to the heart. Let's work with eagle as our balance pose today. If you'd like to use the wall for support, you'll want to be a few inches away from the wall so that when you bend your knees, that's where you'll make contact with the wall to get that support. We'll start with in mountain pose with our feet hip width apart, spine tall, shoulders back and down. Lengthen through the crown of the head, belly strong, knees are soft. Let's lift the toes and spread them wide as we lower them down. Finding a focus spot for your gaze, we'll shift our weight to the left foot, coming up on the big toe of the right foot. Hinging at the hips, we'll bend that left knee, bending the hips. You can bring the arms out to the side for balance if you would like. You can stay here or lift the right leg over the left. Foot can be in the air, on the floor, or wrapped around the calf. You can stay here or add those eagle arms as we did earlier, right over the left, bending at the elbows, hands back to back, or left hand around the right wrist. Soften the shoulders, gently squeezing the arms and the legs together. If it feels okay, you could drop those hips a little bit more. Just listen to your knees, not overdoing. And then with your next inhale, we'll lift up, release, and wrap, and shake out that left leg. Let's find our balance on both feet again. Mountain pose, spine tall, shoulders back and down, belly strong, knees soft. Lift the toes, spread them wide as you lower them down. Shifting our weight to the right leg, we'll come up to the big toe of the left foot, hinging at the hips and bending that right knee. We'll bring the arms out to the side for balance if you would like. You can stay here or lift that left leg across the right, so it can be in the air, on the floor, or wrapped around the calf. Using that focus spot to help you balance. Stay here or add the arms left over the right, bending at the elbows, hands back to back, or right hand around the left wrist. Dropping the shoulders away from the ears. Gently squeeze the legs and the arms together. And if it feels okay for your body, you can drop those hips a little more. And we'll gently release. Shaking out those arms and the legs. And let's spread our legs nice and wide. We're going to turn, nope, wrong one, right foot toward the short end of the mat. Excuse me. Left heel drops back. We'll work with Trikonasana. So we want to make sure the legs are wide enough apart, but not too wide. Having that heel of the front foot pointing kind of toward the center of the back foot. We'll inhale our arms out. And as we exhale, press that left hip. So we're going to kind of tilt the hips to the side and reach that right arm out across the room. Floating that hand down toward the leg. Let's just keep the left hand at the low back for now. And rotate the left shoulder back, lengthening through the spine. Notice if your knees want to lock and gently soften the knees so we're engaging the muscles. Let's lift that right arm, reach a little further, and then lower it down. Again, using a block here if you'd like. Rotating the torso to face the wall. Nice long spine. Stay here, or if it feels okay, you could sweep that left arm up toward the sky if it feels okay for your shoulder. If it feels okay for your neck, you can turn your to face the foot. You could also turn the head to face the hand or keep facing forward. One more breath. And with your next inhale, lift up tall and float the hands down. Let's switch the feet. Left foot toward the short end of the mat. Right heel drops back. We'll inhale the arms out at shoulder height. Exhale, shifting that hip, right hip toward the wall behind you. Reach the left arm out and then float it down toward the leg. Right hand comes to the small of the back. Rotating the right shoulder back, lengthen through the spine. Notice the knees, again, keeping the knees soft, not locked, as we engage the leg. Let's reach the left arm out a little bit further and then lower it down. Again, rotating the shoulders to face the wall in front of you, chin gently away from your chest. And if it feels okay, you could float that right arm up out of the shoulder. Rooting into both feet, lengthening through the spine, softening through the hamstrings of the left leg. And with your next inhale, pressing into the feet, we'll lift up tall and float the hands down. Let's bring the feet to face the long end of the mat. If you want to have a block in the center, please go ahead and add that. With your next inhale, let's sweep the arms up over the head. Softening the knees, we'll bring the arms out to the side, lengthen out, floating the hands underneath the shoulders. Soften those knees as much as you need to help your spine be nice and long. Looking about pushing actively into the feet, lifting up through the sitting bones. Let's bring the left hand under our line of vision. And with your next inhale, we'll sweep the right arm up toward the sky. Nice long spine. Hold and breathe. Tucking that right shoulder. And we'll float the hand down. With your next inhale, we'll sweep the left arm up. Softening the knees, Hips press out behind us, spine is nice and long, twisting through the ribs. And floating the hand down. Let's walk the hands over toward the right foot. Lifting the toes of the right foot, we'll turn them to face the short end of the mat and place the hands on the inside of the right foot. We'll come on to the toes of our back foot. You can bring the knee down or leave the knee in the air, whatever feels best for you right now. You can stay on the hands or come onto the forearms as we move into lizard. You can stay on the flat foot or drop the knee out, coming onto the outer edge of the foot. Softening through the hips, allowing them to gently open. Bringing the foot back down, we'll bring the hands back to the mat. Let's drop the back knee down and we'll gently bend that leg if that feels okay. And if it feels accessible, you can take the opposite arm, the right arm, reaching it back to the leg and drawing that leg toward the hip. You can also use a strap for that. Gently stretching those quads. And we'll release the leg, tucking those toes under. We'll come back onto both feet and come back to the center. Softening the knees, pressing through the hips. Take a breath in and out, just noticing how one hip feels the same or different from the other. Then we'll walk our hands over to the left, lifting the left toes, pointing them toward the short end of the mat, bringing the hands on the inside of the left foot. We'll come onto the toes of the back leg, dropping the hips down into a lunge. Could keep the knee in the air or bring the knee to the mat. You can stay on the hands or you can come onto the forearms. And again, you can keep the left foot flat or drop the knee out to the side, coming to the outer edge of the foot. Finding a comfortable place for you to soften and relax through the hips. And we'll come back to the to the sole of the foot and to the palms of the hands. Dropping that back knee down, lengthen through the spine. We'll bend that back leg behind us if that feels okay. And again, if it feels accessible, to bring that left arm back, grabbing hold of the foot, or you can use a strap, gently softening through the not the hamstrings, the quadriceps. And then we'll release, coming back to both feet and back to the center, softening the knees, pressing up through the hips, lengthening through the spine. Let's walk the feet closer toward each other, stopping just outside of hip width apart. If you'd like a block in the center behind the heels, add that. We can work with a high malasana squat, working on strengthening around the outer hips. Or if you want to work more on opening and it feels accessible for your knees, you can come down onto the block or by the heels. You can also come all the way to the mat, walking the feet a little wider and opening the hips here. So finding your malasana pose for today. Lengthening through the spine, softening through the hips, tailbone reaching down. And then we'll lower the rest of the way down if you aren't already. And we'll meet in Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet gently touching. And take hold at the toes or ankles, lifting the spine tall. Let's think about pressing the feet together. So we're engaging those inner groin muscles, lifting the knees up gently. And as you come to your next exhaling breath, will soften, allowing the knees to ease out. And then engaging the outer hip muscles to draw those knees down a little more as it feels okay. With your next inhale, lengthen the spine. And as you exhale, gently tilt the pelvis forward, lengthening the torso out over the feet, just as far as feels okay. Lengthening through the spine, softening through the groin muscles. Lowering a little more if it feels okay, or staying where you are. And with your next inhale, lift up tall. Let's extend the right leg out, keeping the left leg in toward the groin, working with Janusarasana, alternate leg stretch. We'll flex the right foot, toes and knee point up toward the sky, hands on either side of the leg, or if you'd like to use a strap, you can add that as well. Lengthening the spine. As you exhale, gently tilt forward, walking the hands closer toward the leg as that feels okay. Reaching back through the hip as you lengthen through the spine. Following the breath, lengthening and softening. One more breath. Really letting go with your exhale. And with your inhale, we'll lift up tall, bringing the left hand behind or a few inches away from the left hip. Right arm extends over the leg. You can inhale, bringing that right arm over the ear. Or if it feels okay, you can come up onto the knee and wrist, reaching through the fingers, opening the side of the body. And then we'll gently lower down. And let's switch our legs. So the left leg extended out, right leg in toward the groin. Turning the torso to face the left leg, we'll flex the foot. Toes point up toward the sky, as does the knee. You can also use a strap here or place the hands on either side of the leg. Lengthening the spine with the inhale. We'll tilt at the pelvis, gently reaching the spine out over the leg. Hold and breathe, lengthening with your inhale, softening with the exhale. Pressing back through the hip as you reach out through the heel. Let go a little more with your next exhale. And with your inhale, lift up tall. We'll bring the right hand a few inches away from the right hip. Left arm extends out over the leg. As you inhale, We'll reach that left arm over the ear. And if it feels okay, you can press up onto the hand and the right knee. And then gently lower back down. Come back to cross-legged. Lifting the spine up tall, shoulders back and down. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, drop the right ear over the right shoulder. Tuck the right shoulder back and down. Breathing into the left side of the neck. If it feels okay, you could bring your left arm across the low back. And if it feels okay, you could sweep the right arm out to the side and then bend at the elbow, placing the right hand on the left ear. Lifting the heart with your inhale, softening and letting go with the exhale. With your next inhale, release the hands and come back to the center. Letting the breath go. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head. Exhale, bringing the left ear over the left shoulder. Tucking that left shoulder back and down. Lift the heart. Breathing into the right side of the neck. If it feels okay, you could bring the right arm across the low back. And if it feels okay, you could extend the left arm out, bending the elbow, bringing the left hand on the right ear. Lifting through the heart, softening through the muscles of the neck. Notice if you're holding on in the jaw or hips and gently soften. With your next inhale, release the hands coming back to center. As you exhale, turn your chin over your right shoulder. Shoulders are back and down. Heart is lifted. Hold and breathe. With your next inhale, come back to the center. And as you exhale, turn your chin over your left shoulder. Shoulders are back and down. Heart lifted. Hold and breathe. Again, letting go in the jaw or the hips if you notice you're holding on there. And with your next inhale, come back to the center. Exhale, dropping the chin toward the chest. Taking a breath here. And with your next inhale, lift up tall. And let the breath go. Let's take the right hand. I'm going to move into Nadi Shodhana. So bringing the pointer and middle fingers of the right hand, you can bring them between the eyebrows or you can tuck them into the palm of the hand. Ring finger and thumb on either side of the nose. Take a full breath in and out. Gently closing the right nostril, inhale through the left. Switch and exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Switch and exhale through the left. That's one full round. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Continue following this pattern, following your body. You can have the breath balanced, inhale and exhale. Or if you'd like to extend the exhale, slowing that down, you're welcome to do that as well. Excuse me. The next time you exhale through the left, go ahead and return to your natural breath. Let's bend our knees. Come into the center of the mat. We'll roll the spine back. Lengthening the legs up toward the sky. Rocking the hands or a block underneath the hips. Ankles and knees are soft. Neck is nice and long as you breathe into the belly. Sorry, I'm going to have to sit up, but I will let you all stay there for a moment. And bending your knees. You could rock your hands or block out from underneath the hips. Bringing the knees into the chest. You can rock gently from side to side or make small circles with the low back. And dropping the arms out at shoulder height, palms facing down, knees together, gently dropping the knees to the right, vision to the left. Take a breath and soften through the spine. With your next inhale, bringing the knees back to the center. And as you exhale, gently dropping to the left. Vision to the right. Breathing into the spine. And with your next inhale, come back to the center. Extend the legs out into Shavasana. If it feels better for your low back, you can keep the knees bent, walking the feet to the edges of the mat and resting the knees together. You can also place a blanket or bolster underneath the knees. And depending on how comfortable it is where you are, you can just cover up a little with a blanket or a jacket, just keeping the warmth in your body as you move into relaxation. Finding your comfortable Shavasana position. If your legs are extended, have your feet about hip width apart, arms slightly away from the body, but the palms turned up. Relax your forehead, soften your eyes, loosen your jaw. Let the breath, let your awareness come back to the breath, allowing each inhale to fill you with a sense of peace and calm, allowing each exhale to release anything that no longer serves you. As you practice Shavasana today, I will send some Reiki to you as well. If you would like to receive that, just allow yourself to be open to it. If not, just let it return to the earth. Let the breath bring you back to your heart center, reconnecting with the light and joy that always reside deep within your heart. Let each breath fill your heart with loving kindness for yourself, sending that loving kindness to each and every cell of your body, honoring all of who you are in this moment. Gently begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. Stretch in whatever way feels comfortable for you. When you're ready, you can gently bend your knees, roll to your side, and rest there for a moment. And gently return to a seated position. We'll end with a metta blessing of loving kindness. Please feel free to join in. Got everything all caught up here. May all beings be safe. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings have peace. May all beings awaken to the light of their true nature. May all beings be free. The light in me honors the light in you. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. For our world, for our communities, and for ourselves. Well, thank you all so much for joining me today and taking time for yourself.